Alright, welcome back to Flights in 2024 and welcome back to a very, very windy Progress Airport where we finished off in the previous ferry flight. So this is our auctioned Piper Comanche, which we are trying to get all the way from just outside Cape Town up to just outside Pretoria, and we're currently at Progress Airport, which is close to Port Elizabeth. And as you can see, it is extremely windy today, and I've still got the aircraft tied down and everything because of the wind, and we're going to see if we can brave the conditions. It's also starting to cloud over, but we're going to see if we can brave the conditions and make our way from here, VFR along the coast pretty much most of the way, over to Greytown, which is just outside Pietermaritzburg. Right, so that's the plan for today. I'm also going to be trying for the first time to fly with head tracking. Now, I've never done this before because I feel like it might be annoying to watch a video that has head tracking. Can I open this from here? No. But I've recently made a few adjustments to the sensitivity and stuff. Wow, that sounds different in here. If I open this, we do hear the wind a bit. I've made some adjustments to the sensitivity and stuff, and I think it might actually be viable. So let me actually just get that switched on. Okay, and we'll see how it goes. So let's get rid of these. We can get this out of the way for now. And we are bouncing around a lot. Okay, I'm gonna grab the tablet and let's actually go and do the walk around. So the walk around I can probably do without the head tracking. Okay, flaps seem good. No stickiness there or weird noises. The lights are fine. We can take the tie downs off and hope that we don't blow away. How much fuel do we have in here? Okay, a little bit. I might actually top us up with fuel. Can't remember if I left the fuel selectors on, so I probably didn't. Yeah, oil was a big one. Sure. So there's 12, so we're kind of low, and it looks very dark as well. But we're not allowed to change oil. We can fuel up, that's the only thing we can do. Let's see how it looks on this side. Okay, there's a bit in there, but I think we'll top up anyway. Chocks, cover, tie downs, should be cold. Okay, so at least the flight surfaces seem alright. The oil is a bit questionable, but all of these seem okay. Okay, our kit should already be in there. Perfect. And then back inside. Door is closed and latched. So let's go ahead, and I might actually do this part without the head tracking, do all the setup and stuff. Right, I'm gonna top this all the way up. Like so. Cool. Then let's go through our checklist. Okay, so pre-flight is complete. We don't have any passengers. Seatbelts aren't done. Control lock removed. Parking brake is set. Gear switch should be down, which it is. Flaps should be up. Radios are off. Autopilot master off. Avionics off. And all electrical switches off. Circuit breakers are good. There's no white lines. And beacon is on. Engine start. Fuel selector. So now... Okay, I've obviously messed up this setup because I was able to do this earlier. Let's put them both to on. Okay, so I need to go and tweak some settings still with the head tracking. The bouncing of the wind doesn't help. Okay. Mixture set to rich and prop full forward. Carb heat is off. Master switch on. Fuel pump. Check that we get fuel pressure. Which we do. Okay, we can then switch this off. Primer, let's give it some priming. Okay, that's done. Mags set to both. Okay, let's just have a look. All clear around us. Crack the throttle a bit and let's see if she will start. Oh, that's not good. And that doesn't sound good either. Okay, well, she started up. This little window's still open. There we go. Oh, right. Actually, don't know how it's running because we had the broken fuel pump. The broken mechanical fuel pump on this one. But it's running. Because if I turn this on, we should get actual fuel pressure. That's interesting. Okay, let's keep the fuel pump on for now, just so it doesn't switch off, so we can warm up everything. Oil pressure is good. The temperature will take a while to come up. Mixture is leaned. Let's go and get the avionics on. Taking off in this wind is going to be interesting. Okay, fuel's done. Right, before we taxi, primer's locked, avionics, ammeter, cool. Heading indicator. Okay, we definitely need to sort that out, so... Oh, we are miles off. So about there. Okay, then I think we are good to go. So, radios, transponder, altimeter heading, landing gear lamp green, nav lights, parking brake. So let's release the brakes and test. Well, release the parking brake and test the wheel brakes. Okay, parking brake is released. Wheel brakes are good. I need to head out this way. is actually blowing from behind us. I hope that crackling sound is because we're taxiing on the grass and it's not something that's broken. Okay, so position into the wind, holding the brakes, fuel quantity is good, fuel select is good, mixture, let's make that rich, throttle up to 2000. Okay, brakes are holding, there's 2000. Oil pressure, oil temperature, cylinder temperatures. We are a little low on the temps, but it's okay. That's a big drop. Less drop. So left mag is not happy, but I think we had that last time as well, if I remember. Okay, I cycle the prop. Carb heat. Well, let's go back to 1800 and then we'll test the carb heat. Cool. Right, controls, trim. Okay, fuel pump, props. Flaps we're gonna leave up. Actually, no, we'll do flaps 1. Grass strip. Okay, lights. Right, so yeah, rotate 85, climb out at 105. Our best airport is going to be this one. Best runway is going to be this one here. Still gonna have a very significant and strong crosswind. Okay, prop full, mixture full, here we go. power set. And we're up already. It is windy. Okay, gears coming up, flaps coming up. Back to 24, bring the RPM back to 24 so we avoid that issue. We had that last time when we're at max RPM. And let's head out towards the coast. And they don't call this the Windy City for nothing. Farewell, Progress Airport. Level off at 2.5. Too high now. Right, let's go ahead and get this on. Autopilot master on. And we'll actually use the autopilot just now. We might actually see Port Elizabeth Airport there coming up in front of us now. So let's stay this side of the airport. actually need to climb a bit here. There's Port Elizabeth Airport there. On our way, so let's turn this off. We lose our fuel pressure. Yeah, completely. Look at that. Okay. Cruising along nicely, 160. Okay, I'm going to turn the head tracking off for now. Because I want to look at my tablet in front of me, so I need to find the East London VOR frequency is 114.5. Okay, so we'll see when we pick this up. I mean, essentially, we're just sticking along the coast here. Pretty much the whole way. It's nice and windy out there. Okay, let's dial this in. Pop that onto heading. There we go. So at some point we'll pick up the East London VOR and follow that. Then Port St John's. And next would have to be the Pietermaritzburg VOR, and then not long after that we can switch over to Greytown itself. Okay, but we're basically settling in now for a good couple of hours of cross-country. Okay, feel good, temps are good. We can maybe back off our mixture a bit. little island out there. You can actually see the wind is coming from this direction. So the waves crashing, and you can even see the kind of calm around the island. That's amazing. Like the weather's actually getting a little clearer. Let's look at East London's weather. So East London says, sure, wind 280, 18 gusting 30. Crazy. But no clouds. It's scheduled for the gusts to only get worse. So later on, gusting 35. Sure. Okay, so after East London, we can check Margate. Margate's cloudy, few clouds at 4,000 feet. And less windy. 14 knots. Pietermaritzburg, clear, winds 202 at 15. And then Greytown, winds 262 at 6, no clouds reported. We're still not yet picking up the East London VOR. In terms of airfields nearby, currently our closest airport is Port Elizabeth, so we'd have to turn back. Once we kind of round this, I don't know, whatever this is called, but you'll see the actual coast is going along there. So once we round this little bulge, Port Alfred is on the other side there. And the next one after that is East London. So pretty long way to go between Port Alfred and East London with no airports. There's still open areas where we can land, but there's no actual airports. And after East London, it's even longer. Port St. John's. Then Margate. After Margate, if we stick to the coast, would be Virginia. Which I think is what we'll do. We'll stick to the coastline. Then we've got Virginia, and at Virginia, or even overhead King Shaka if we really wanted to, we would then turn towards Greytown VOR because we should be picking it up by then. Or we can head inland earlier to Pietermaritzburg and from there to Greytown. Okay, it feels good. We got about 4 hours of fuel remaining. Speed, altitude, all of the engine gauges look good as well. Those clouds look pretty rough. It's just this patch here that's very dark. This looks like it could start raining at any second. Still not picking up the VOR for East London. Double check 114.5. probably the terrain causing most of that issue. If I climbed higher, we'd probably pick it up. But it's okay, we've got the coastline to follow. It's not like we're gonna get lost. Making decent speed. So that was the kind of bulge that I was talking about in the coastline back there. So that means the closest airport now is Port Alfred. Everything seems stable so far. Plenty of fuel. Fuel pressure is still there with the electrical pump on. Temperatures and pressures are good. Speed, we're just over 160 and altitude sitting tight at 25. Here I'm going to do 1159, that is Port St John's. It's a long way after East London. Aha, we're now picking up East London, 75 miles. Now we have a VOR course to follow. Does not seem to be following it, does it? gonna put us way out over the ocean. So let's do something like that. And it should track that better now. That looks better. Off again, so I'll just have to keep an eye on that. It could honestly just be that it's so windy and we've got a crab like that. But now that we've got our navigation set up and all of that, we can just cruise along casually for the next couple of hours. Yeah, it's very cold in here. Be crabbing that much, can we? I suppose we could. It's 23 knots off the left-hand side. Keeping that needle bang in the middle, so it seems like it is working. Well, everything is nice and settled. We're 56 miles from East London, so we can cruise along, and I think I'll just update you when things happen. Alright, welcome back. So it's been a totally uneventful flight. We're about 50% fuel, otherwise everything else is good, in the green. And we're just passing Durban. There's the old Durban International. the harbour coming up, so we're just on the edge of that. We'll head up to Virginia Airport and then make our way inland towards Greytown. So let's see. What we need is Greytown's VR 1135. So we can actually just flip that and do that. And we are in fact picking it up already, so that's good. And we'll use that once we get overhead Virginia, so we're just staying outside of the harbour airspace here. And there's a lighthouse down here that is actually a VRP. It's supposed to be like here, I think. Okay, what I do need to do though is fix this alignment again. Okay, I should have not done it in heading mode. So let's just let that balance out. Although it's pretty close. So we just go to this mode. We should be pretty much on 60 degrees. Put the heading back, that's the better way to do it. Okay, still a bit of cloud, but nothing too serious. Greytown still reporting clear skies, but the wind's dropped a lot, now only 6 degrees. We can round the harbour entrance here. And this is protected airspace, ground to 500 feet. So we are clear of that. We want to head for the Mgeni River mouth. Which is there, actually. I think that's Virginia Airport there. Okay, we'll do that, so it should pick up that nav signal once we can. I don't know how much higher we can climb here. But Greytown Airport is at 3,500 feet. But look at these clouds. That might actually be an issue. We can always come to Virginia, I guess. I don't know how we're going to cross the Valley of 1,000 Hills here. So we can't climb all that much higher, but we actually need to go at least 2,000 feet up. So the airport itself is 1,000 feet above us. And we need to be 1,000 feet above that for pattern altitude. I don't see that happening though. Okay, we are going to turn right slightly. So that'll help. I reckon we might end up coming back to Virginia. It's 45 miles still. Pretty close to those clouds. Clouds, few clouds at 3,000 feet. Okay, there's no way we're gonna get through that. We're gonna go to Virginia, I think. Winds at Virginia 170 at 16 knots, so a bit windier this side. Okay, runways at Virginia 32 and 05. So winds are 170. So 05 will give us a smaller tailwind. Okay, let's take 05. I still think it's going to be quite challenging. Virginia Circuit is actually right hand over the ocean. There's no charts for it on Navigraph. I'd say it probably is. Get less turbulence from all the buildings and stuff. Less noise issues because you're not overflying the buildings. Right, there's the airport there. It's just me backing off the throttle a little bit too much with the gear still up. Okay, fuel pump is still on because we can't turn this one off. Well, we can, but we just won't have an engine if we do that. Okay, lights. Mixture and prop. It's just flaps and gear left. Okay, QNH here is 1016. Being able to lean over like that is actually pretty cool. There's no one else in the aircraft, so... Okay, I'm gonna go first stage of flaps. Second stage of flaps and gear down. Right, flaps full. We're a little fast. Okay, looking good. It is windy, so keep that in mind. Okay, flaps coming up. Right, welcome to Virginia. Right, landing lights and strobes coming off. Okay, I know we can park down at the end on the grass. I'm just looking, our oil temperature and pressure still looks pretty good. Even though our oil looked horrendous before we took off. This was another reason why I initially never used the head tracking. So I've always got stuff on my other screen, which is there. So if I'm gonna look at like the weather and stuff, this is what you're gonna see. But in the circuit, the head tracking is absolutely ideal. There's someone up in the control tower. Right, that's everything off. It's actually really hot in here. I didn't put that back. What's the temperature outside? 22. I suppose we're jumping out now anyway. Let's quickly... in fact, I can do it from here. Chocks, tie downs, control locks, pedo cover. Okay, I'll turn that tracking off. Oh, and turn the master off. Alright, there we are. Nice windy day, and I'm actually really surprised that our engine has run this well so far. So, aside from the fuel pump issue, we've actually been okay. And, you know, that was a good 3 hours of flying. And the engine was solid as a rock. So that left mag is not happy. But despite that, no issues. So now I'm actually feeling like we can make it all the way up to Rhino Park. But there's still probably 4-5 hours worth of flying to go. So anything can go wrong. That oil doesn't look healthy. That left mag is not healthy. At least all the flight control surfaces are fine. If we lose electronics, if we lose the fuel pump now, we're dead. The engine's not going to run without that. But if we lose, I was expecting to lose radios and things like that, but those have all been fine. But yeah, the engine was okay on that flight. But anyway, that's going to bring us to the end of this video. If you made it this far, as always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy it, you know what to do down below, and hopefully I see you on the next one.